There are 3 secret points on the human body that almost no one pays attention to, yet, when awakened in the right way, they can connect you to an ancient source of energy and unlock abilities that science has yet to name. The forehead, the heart, and the navel, they are not just anatomical locations, but 3 gateways leading into the depths of the self, where the soul, past life memories, and primordial life force lie dormant. And now is the time to awaken them. Have you ever wondered, why, when you place your hand on your chest, do you feel a deeper vibration than anywhere else on your body? Humans are not merely physical bodies but vibrant energy systems, where every cell, every molecule, even every heartbeat emits invisible vibrations beyond the reach of our eyes. Within this system, energy does not flow evenly, nor does it move in the same rhythm or respond uniformly across all regions. Some points on the body act as powerful gateways connecting the soul to the universe, while others serve merely as conduits. The question is, why? The body is a multi-layered energy system. Since ancient civilizations, humans have believed that the body is more than just a physical mass of flesh and bones. It is a multidimensional, multi-layered system consisting of the physical body, the energy body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. Mystics refer to these as energy fields. Each layer surrounds the body like invisible veils, vibrating at different frequencies corresponding to one's level of awakening, emotions, and spiritual state. The physical body is the most visible layer, but beneath it, millions of electrical signals, magnetic fields, and microenergy flows move continuously, like an internal river. These movements are neither uniform nor random. They concentrate, spiral, and radiate in certain specific areas, forming energy centers that can be measured, felt, and activated. Different energy vibrations across different body regions. Studies in bioelectricity and biofield science have shown that every cell in the body emits an electrical potential, and every organ or tissue region emits its own unique waveform. These differences reflect the biological role and energetic significance of each body part. For example, hands and feet often emit linear energy, meaning energy is directed outward like a gentle electric current. These are transmission points, suited for projecting or receiving frequencies from the environment. Forehead, heart, navel are central points, where energy not only flows through but also spirals, accumulates, and resonates. They act like internal energy generators, regulating both the nervous system and mental states. This explains why, when you're stressed, you may feel a heavy head or chest tightness. When in love, you feel warmth in your heart, and when afraid, you feel stomach pain. None of this is random, it's the body's way of emitting, receiving, and transforming energy differently at each point. You can feel it, by hand, through meditation, or with technology. You don't have to be a scientist or a Qigong master to feel the energetic differences across your body. Those sensitive to energy often report feeling heat, subtle vibrations, or magnetic sensations when placing a hand near centers like the forehead, heart, or navel. In meditation, focusing awareness on the space between the eyebrows, the forehead, may lead to experiences of inner light, expanded consciousness, or even heightened intuition. Today, devices like gas discharge visualization, GDV, cameras or bio-well scanners can capture the biological aura, a type of plasma-like light surrounding the human body. Surprisingly, areas like the forehead, heart, and navel often emit clearly bright fields, while hands and feet appear dimmer. So why are those 3 regions so special? The 3 most powerful energy centers: forehead, heart, navel. Forehead, gateway to higher consciousness. The forehead, especially the point between the eyebrows, is the location of the 6th chakra, commonly known as the 3rd eye. Many spiritual traditions believe this is the seat of intuition and the point of connection to the universal field of information, a layer of consciousness beyond logic. Biologically, the pineal gland lies deep within the brain, near this area. It is an endocrine gland that produces melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep, but is also regarded by many as the gateway to the soul. When the pineal gland is activated, people may experience vivid images during meditation or lucid dreams. When forehead energy is strong, a person becomes alert, insightful, intuitive, and able to sense unspoken truths. The forehead is not just the location of the brain, it is an antenna for spiritual energy. Heart, the intersection between body and soul. The heart is not just a blood pump, it is the most powerful energy generator in the body. According to the HeartMath Institute, USA, the heart's electromagnetic field is 60 times stronger than the brain's and radiates several feet beyond the body. This energy field changes based on emotions, expanding with love, contracting with anger. In meditation, focusing on the chest allows practitioners to feel gentle vibrations spreading through the body, as if wrapped in a warm light. The heart is where the soul resides. It is the fourth chakra, a bridge between heaven and earth, linking the lower three chakras, material, with the upper three, spiritual. When heart energy is strong, you forgive more easily, love more deeply, and are less affected by negativity. This is true healing, not through medicine, but through the vibration of compassion. Navel, the origin of life and instinctive wisdom. The navel is where we connected to our mothers via the umbilical cord, retaining biological and energetic memory from the beginning of life. In Qigong, yoga, and meditation, this is the Dantian center, where vital energy, prana, qi, is stored. The ancient Chinese referred to this as Haizhong Qi Di, the sea of energy in the center of the body. Energy at the navel has the quality of fire, warm, stable, providing survival strength, willpower, and endurance. When this energy is weak, people lose direction, feel cold in the abdomen, lack will and vitality. In Japan, the concept of hara goes beyond just the belly, it is the center of morality, strength, and inner stillness. A samurai does not act from the brain, they live by the hara. The harmony of science and mysticism. What's remarkable is that modern science is gradually converging with ancient concepts. Eastern medicine speaks of chakras, meridians, Qigong, and Dantian. Western medicine studies the pineal gland, the autonomic nervous system, nerve plexuses, and cellular energy. Different languages, but all describing the same reality. The human body is a living energy system, where centers like the forehead, heart, and navel play vital roles in life, awareness, and spiritual awakening. Conclusion: 3 energy portals, 3 dimensions of the self. Forehead connects to the universe, higher consciousness. Heart connects to people, the vibration of love. Navel connects to the earth, primal strength. No one lives fully if these 3 centers are not open, clean, and resonant. No one awakens using only the mind while neglecting the heart. And no one endures without the vital force from the navel, where life begins. There is a door between your eyebrows, silent, as if it doesn't exist, but once opened, your entire worldview, and your very being, will never be the same. The forehead center, gateway to awakening and higher intuition. There are certain central points in the body that act like gates, like powerful energy generators. Among them, the forehead, the spot between the eyebrows, holds one of the most mysterious and important roles. It is the gateway to awakening, to perception beyond logic, and to seeing with the mind rather than with the physical eyes. In many cultures and spiritual traditions, the forehead region is known by an evocative name, the third eye chakra, or ajna in ancient Indian philosophy. It is no coincidence that the symbol of the third eye appears from ancient Egypt and India to Tibetan Vajrayana Buddhism. Although depicted differently, they all emphasize one core message: this is where humans transcend the three-dimensional reality and connect with the invisible world, where information, intuition, and the soul converge. An eye that sees not with the retina, but with awareness. Humans have 2 eyes to observe the physical world, and 1 inner eye to perceive the invisible. But seeing here is not in the usual sense. It is intuition, a sense without proof, a hunch that you know something before it happens. The third eye doesn't operate in physical light, it functions in the light of deep awareness. Have you ever had the feeling that something was about to happen, and it did? That you instantly disliked someone without knowing why? That you saw things in a dream that later came true? None of these arise from logic or ordinary senses. They come from a deeper level of consciousness, a layer of higher intuition. And the starting point of that consciousness is the forehead, the first gateway into the depths of the mind and the universe. The pineal gland, the brain of the soul. Deep within the brain, near the spot between the eyebrows, lies a tiny endocrine gland, about the size of a pea, called the pineal gland. The philosopher Descartes called it the seat of the soul, and it has long fascinated both scientists and mystics. Structure and biological role. The pineal gland produces melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep and helps distinguish between night and day. It functions in accordance with light cycles and influences the body's entire biological clock. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The pineal gland and inner light. Unlike other internal organs, the pineal gland has a strange feature. It contains photoreceptive cells, similar to the retina of the eye. This has led researchers to wonder, could it have once been a kind of ancient eye? Some spiritual practices, such as yoga, Taoism, and Vajrayana, believe that when the pineal gland is activated, it releases a compound called dimethyltryptamine, DMT, also known as the spirit molecule, which can create altered states of consciousness and allow people to perceive other dimensions of reality. You don't need chemicals for this. When you meditate deeply, close your eyes, and focus on the point between the eyebrows, inner light may appear. This isn't physical light, it's a subtle glow radiating from within. Intuition, deep consciousness, and metaphysical perception. The third eye is not merely a biological point. It is a receiver of spiritual energy, like an antenna that picks up the vibrational frequencies of the invisible field around you. When this energy is activated, people become highly sensitive to words, looks, and the atmosphere around them. Able to sense others' positive or negative energy through just a glance or a space. Capable of clairvoyance, seeing images or symbols that aren't physically present, but carry profound symbolic meaning. In meditation, one often directs attention to the point between the brows. When you remain silent long enough, when your mind stops reacting to the external world, consciousness begins to rise from the depths, like hearing your true self for the first time. The forehead, where conscious and subconscious meet. What makes the forehead center special is not just its role as a gateway to higher awareness, but the fact that it is the meeting point between two opposing realms of consciousness, the waking conscious mind and the deep subconscious. Imagine it like this. Consciousness, the head, logic, analysis, awareness. Subconscious, the shadowy zone, memories, emotions, instincts, unspoken fears and desires. The forehead is the bridge between the two. When this center is strong, you are both awake and deep, meaning you can listen to your subconscious without being controlled by it. This is the key to higher intuition, where there is no reason, no evidence, only a sense that transcends language. Awakening the third eye, mystical, but not delusional. The question is, can anyone awaken this energy point? The answer is, yes. But it's not easy. And no two people are the same. No one is born with the third eye fully open. But no one is forever denied access, either. The forehead center is a door waiting to be knocked on, and when knocked in the right way, it will open. Here are a few core conditions. Inner silence. Life's noise, busyness, stress, and endless desires disturb the frequency of the forehead, making it incapable of receiving higher vibrations. The quieter the mind, the brighter the forehead. Meditation and inner observation. Sit still, close your eyes, focus your awareness on the point between your brows. At first, you may feel nothing, but over time, you may notice subtle vibrations, warmth, even inner light or spiritual symbols appearing. Avoid mental and physical toxins. The pineal gland can become calcified by fluoride, chemicals, and stress. Clean eating, regular sleep, and limiting negative media consumption can help it recover and function better. Cultivate faith in the spiritual depth. Faith, not superstition, is a state of openness to that which cannot yet be explained by science. No one enters the mystical world with a skeptical, cold, and controlling mind. Warning: when the third eye opens the wrong way. However, awakening the third eye isn't always beneficial. If it is activated suddenly, without psychological grounding, a person can fall into states of cognitive disorientation, seeing too much without understanding. Loss of reality connection, feeling like you're living in a dream, unable to tell real from unreal. Emotional overwhelm, absorbing too much energy from the environment without knowing how to manage it. That's why awakening the forehead center must be done in tandem with stabilizing the heart and navel, as mentioned earlier. The forehead is the height, but without the grounding force of the navel, instinct, and the compassion of the heart, emotion, flying too high can make you lose yourself. The forehead, gateway to another world. When the third eye opens properly, a person enters a new phase of being. No longer panicking in crises, because they see the hidden nature of things. Needing fewer explanations, because they feel what's true. Not getting swept up by surface life, because they perceive what others overlook. The third eye doesn't make you a superhero. It makes you truly yourself, in your most awakened form. It is a primal ability we all once had, but have let fall asleep beneath layers of habit, society, and fear. Conclusion: the forehead is not just the forehead, it is the key. Between your two eyes, there is a point where, once awakened, you will see with your entire being. The forehead is not just where the frontal brain resides, it is the gateway for spiritual light, for intuition, for understanding without needing explanation. And each of us, no matter who we are or where we are, carries within us such a magnificent gate. There is a place within the human body that, when it vibrates, not only brings tears to your eyes, but also awakens distant memories that have no name: the heart. The heart center, where love and the soul intersect. Our journey now descends to another vital energy center, one equally important but vibrating on an entirely different frequency: the heart. More than just a blood-pumping organ or a symbol of emotion, the heart, from the perspectives of energy, spirituality, and biology, is the transfer station between the self and the soul, between the material world below the abdomen and the spiritual realm above the head. The heart center is known as the fourth chakra in the classical seven-chakra system, called Anahata in ancient Indian philosophy. But unlike other chakras that project outward, the forehead for awareness, the navel for action, Anahata turns inward, the only center that invites one to return within, to listen to the deepest self, and from there, connect to other souls through the frequency of love. The dwelling of the soul, the heart, is not just muscle. For thousands of years, the heart has been regarded as the center of emotion. But why the heart, and not the brain? Why do we feel chest tightness when in love, pain in the chest when sad, and a soft flutter in the center of the chest when happy, as if a flower is blooming invisibly? Mystics believe that the heart is where the soul resides in this physical life. In fact, many phenomena suggest that the heart is not just a blood-pumping muscle but a living energy center with its own form of intelligence. The concept of heart intelligence is no longer unfamiliar. Many studies show that the heart has its own independent nervous system, capable of memory, decision-making, and reacting without instruction from the cerebral cortex. This is not a subjective speculation. Science is now venturing into realms once thought to belong solely to sacred spiritual texts. Near-death experiences and departing through the heart. Among thousands of reports from people who have experienced near-death states, one strange detail appears repeatedly: when leaving the body, they don't feel themselves rising from the head or slipping out through the feet, but through the chest, more precisely, the center of the chest. Many describe feeling like a gentle mist drifting out from the chest. A light sensation emerging from the heart, spreading through the whole body, then leaving the physical form behind. The first light that appeared before their eyes didn't come from outside, but seemed to flash from within the chest, illuminating everything around them. Could this be evidence that the heart is truly the connection point between soul and body, the first gateway that opens when crossing into the other world? No one can claim absolute certainty, but the consistency of these descriptions, from different cultures, religions, and ages, suggests this is not merely hallucination, but a universal energetic phenomenon. The heart's magnetic field, scientific truth beyond biology. Did you know that the heart emits a magnetic field 60 times stronger than the brain, and that it can be measured with scientific instruments? The Heart Math Institute has conducted over 30 years of research and discovered that the heart produces a biomagnetic field that extends about 2 to 3 meters outside the body. The frequency of this field changes based on emotion. When you feel love, the field becomes smooth, wide, and symmetrical. When angry, it distorts, becomes erratic, even fragmented. Most importantly, this magnetic field directly affects the brain and cells throughout the entire body. This means, your emotions are not just subjective experiences, they are real energy, radiating outward, affecting the environment, and others can subconsciously pick up on your frequency. You don't need to be psychic. Sometimes, just when someone walks into a room, you can feel whether they are peaceful or anxious. That is not vague intuition, it is the resonance of heart energy fields. When you love, forgive, and feel deeply, the body heals itself. It is no coincidence that in moments of deep love, forgiveness, or heartfelt emotion, you feel lighter, as if a burden has lifted. Science calls this the release of oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, but what's even more significant is that these hormones are triggered by a very special kind of energy, the emotional vibration of the heart. Specifically, when you forgive, the heart's magnetic field expands, creating a relaxation effect across the entire body. When you feel gratitude, the heartbeat becomes more coherent, creating what is called heart coherence, a synchronized state between the heart and brain. When you love unconditionally, the body enters a self-healing state, repairing damaged cells naturally. From an energetic perspective, this explains why compassionate, loving, and kind-hearted people are often healthier, recover faster, and rarely fall ill. When vibrating at the right frequency, the heart becomes a natural healing transmitter. The center of balance, where two worlds meet. Imagine the human body as a vertical energy axis. The lower part, material, instinct, life force. The upper part, spirit, awareness, awakening. The heart lies in the middle, not fully belonging to either, but connecting them both. This is why the heart center is known as the center of balance, where instinctive energy is softened before rising into awareness. Higher consciousness is warmed before turning into action. A person with a strong heart center is not coldly dominated by intellect, is not dragged down by raw emotion, keeps the mind centered, both awake and compassionate. In Taoism, this is called the middle path of the heart. In Buddhism, it's known as Madhyamaka, the middle way. All point toward a state in which the heart leans neither way, yet contains all, like a mirror that reflects the whole world without clinging to any dust. The soul dwelling in the heart, hypothesis or truth? This raises the question, is it possible that the soul truly resides in the heart, not the brain? From a modern Western view, the soul doesn't dwell anywhere, it is merely a byproduct of the brain. But from ancient spiritual perspectives, this is not just a belief, but a lived experience. Some compelling examples. In ancient Egypt, upon death, the heart, not the brain, was weighed before the altar of Osiris to determine the lightness of the soul. In Taoist alchemy, masters did not focus on the head, but on heart fire, the spiritual flame in the center of the chest. In near-death experiences, the first light always appears from the chest, like a luminous pearl of the soul, then radiates into full consciousness. In biology, the heart begins to beat before the brain is fully formed in the womb, suggesting that life begins with the heart. If the soul is the point of connection between life, awareness, and emotion, then what place is more worthy than the heart to be its home? How to nurture the heart center, opening the gate to a living soul. The heart is not only a place of feeling. The heart must be lived, daily, by nurturing resonant emotional frequencies. Practice gratitude. Each morning or evening, spend a few minutes thinking of 3 things you were grateful for that day. Gratitude doesn't just bring contentment, it activates harmonious heart rhythms, triggering positive biological responses. Forgiveness, not for them, but to set yourself free. Holding on to anger and resentment fractures the heart's energy field, preventing it from vibrating naturally. Forgiveness is not forgetting, it is unhooking the energy chains that bind your own soul. Touch your chest during meditation. During meditation, place your right hand over your left chest. Feel each heartbeat as a whisper from your soul. You don't need to imagine anything, just listen to your heart. Conclusion: the heart, more than an organ, it is a living depth. The heart center is the most delicate yet most powerful. It can make you cry from a single memory. It can pull you out of despair with just one embrace. It has no language, but everyone understands it when it vibrates. If the forehead is the gateway to the heavens, then the heart is the bridge to the self, the place where you connect to your soul, to others, and to the vast, boundless life that surrounds us. Before we knew how to speak, to think, to love, or to fear, there was already one place in the body quietly operating as the first center of life, the navel. The navel center, the origin of life and the flow of sacred energy. The journey of exploring the body as an energy system leads us back to the beginning of all life, the navel. Located in the lower abdomen, at the very center of the body, a place often overlooked, yet it plays a foundational role in life, instinct, primal power, and the deepest memories that the brain cannot name. The navel is not merely a biological scar left after we depart from the womb. In many esoteric traditions, it is known as the Dantian, China, Hara, Japan, or Swadhisthana/Manipura chakra, India. All refer to the same thing, a center of energy, of spirit, of original wisdom. The navel, the first connection to life. Let's return to the moment of origin. When we were still in the womb, the navel was the only connection between us and the life outside. Through the umbilical cord, that tiny body was nourished, breathed, and sustained. The heart had not yet fully beat, the brain had not yet fully formed, yet the navel was already functioning. This is incredibly significant in terms of energy. The navel receives the first energy from the mother, and possibly from ancestors through the bloodline. All genetic information and the mother's emotions during pregnancy are transmitted into the fetus via the umbilical cord. After birth, though the umbilical cord is cut, the energetic field of the navel remains, functioning as a receiver and transmitter, an echo of the primordial past. This is not just symbolic. It is cellular intelligence, something the navel remembers even before we have memory or language. You could say, if the forehead represents the level of consciousness, and the heart represents the emotional layer, then the navel represents the layer of life force. The navel in Eastern traditions, Dantian and Hara. For thousands of years, Eastern cultures have viewed the lower abdomen, around the navel, as the foundational energy center of the human being. In Daoist China, Dantian. Dan means elixir, Tian means field, a field that nourishes immortality. The lower Dantian, at the lower abdomen, is the center for storing life force and prenatal qi, the original energy of life. In Qigong practice, one concentrates awareness at the Dantian, drawing energy back to the root to gain stability, strength, and longevity. In Japanese Zen and martial arts, Hara. Hara is not just the belly, but also the mind, character, and inner authority. When a samurai loses honor, he performs harakiri, ritual suicide, because hara is seen as the core of one's being and dignity. Warriors train their breathing from the hara to maintain composure in battle. They fight not with their heads, but with their bellies. In yoga, Swadhisthana and Manipura chakras. Swadhisthana, second chakra, below the navel, governs creativity, sexuality, survival instinct. Manipura, third chakra, at the navel center of personal power, will, self-mastery, and transformation. All point to one truth: the navel area is not merely home to digestive organs, it is a sacred energy center, the root of our being. Martial artists, Zen masters, Qigong practitioners, their power comes from the navel. In traditional martial arts, meditation, Qigong, and energy cultivation, one essential teaching is, always bring awareness to the navel, gather energy in the dantian. Why? Because when you focus on the navel, the body's energy doesn't scatter, it gathers, stabilizes. From the dantian, energy is directed through the meridians to the head, the feet, and the hands, for martial arts, healing, or deep meditation. Highly advanced internal energy practitioners can emit energy from the dantian, projecting a force like a shock wave that impacts the opponent without physical contact. Additionally, when emotionally distressed, fearful, or disoriented, simply placing your hand on your navel and breathing deeply into the dantian helps stabilize the body. Zen Buddhism includes the practice of resting the mind in the belly, keeping mindful presence at the navel to prevent mental distraction. In traditional medicine, practitioners stimulate the Shinkei acupoint, located exactly at the navel, through acupuncture, massage, or moxibustion to regulate the body's vital energy. The navel is like a central battery, the origin of the energy flow throughout the body. Losing connection to the navel is losing your root. The navel stores primal memory and ancestral information. The body doesn't only store memory in the brain. Every cell holds genetic memory, emotion, and energetic information. Many energy biologists believe the navel is the deepest point for storing primal memory, things never encoded in words, but still imprinted like inherited marks. This can explain phenomena such as: a person fears water despite never having drowned, possibly a memory from the womb or even a past life. Someone feels intense emotion when touching their lower belly, perhaps a reaction from accumulated unconscious memory. In regression hypnosis, many report a flow of energy from the navel up to the throat when recalling past lives, as if the navel is a gateway across time layers. Furthermore, many reincarnation theories propose that the navel is a portal across lifetimes, storing one's life blueprint, lessons, wounds, and soul purposes carried from the past. The second brain, the navel and the gut nervous system. Modern neuroscience is confirming an ancient idea, the second brain, the enteric nervous system of the gut. Specifically, the gut contains over 100 million neurons, more than the spinal cord. This gut nervous system operates independently of the brain. It can perceive, command, and process its own information. Scientists now call this the gut brain, as it directly influences emotions, behavior, and decision-making. This explains why. When afraid, the belly tightens. When in love, we get butterflies. When deciding, we say, "I had a gut feeling." The navel is the center of this system, a kind of primal intelligence, untainted by logic. It doesn't reason. It doesn't debate. It simply knows. So the question arises, could the navel be holding the most original wisdom, the kind the modern brain has forgotten? Connecting with the navel, reawakening life from the root. Awakening energy in the navel doesn't require rituals or doctrines. It begins with simple actions. Deep breathing into the lower belly. For 10 minutes a day, place your hand on your belly, breathe deeply so the abdomen rises and falls. This activates the dantian, calms the sympathetic nervous system, reduces stress, and balances hormones. Navel meditation, center awareness in the belly. During meditation, instead of just focusing on the breath, center your awareness at the navel, feel a warm point like a glowing ember radiating softly. Over time, the area may begin to vibrate gently, emit energy, or induce a deep, still presence. Massage the navel area, clear energy blockages. Use warm oil, ginger, cinnamon, sandalwood, to massage around the navel clockwise. This helps activate qi and clear blocked emotional imprints. Ask the navel, listen to instinctive wisdom. When unsure about something, place your hand on your lower belly, close your eyes, and ask silently. Don't wait for a verbal answer, wait for a sensation. If you feel warmth, ease, that's a yes. If you feel cold, tightness, perhaps not the right time. Conclusion: the navel, the beginning, and also the way back. Throughout the journey across energy centers, we may become enchanted by the radiant awareness of the forehead or immersed in the love of the heart, but nothing can remain stable without the foundation of the navel. The navel does not speak, does not think, does not ask why. But it knows, in a way that all of life recognizes, as the place where everything began. And perhaps, also the place to which we must return, whenever we are lost in life. So, we've just explored together the three mysterious energy centers of the body: the forehead, the place of connection with intuition and higher consciousness; the heart, the dwelling place of the soul and the radiance of love; and the navel, the origin of life and primal strength. But this is only the beginning. What about you? Where do you feel energy the strongest in your body? The forehead? The heart? Or the navel? Leave a comment below so we can discuss and share perspectives together. If you feel this content truly resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe to the Human Mist channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming deep and surprising videos. Wishing you always stay connected to the deepest part of your true self.